I'm about to show you 2 epic guitar progress hacks that'll take you way closer to playing like your favorite players by making it almost impossible not to improve when you practice. And once you start using these hacks properly, you'll be able to forever silence that annoying voice that tells you you have no talent to play guitar well. But on a cautionary note, not using these hacks is a big reason you're nowhere near the guitarist you think you should be, given how long you've been playing. Now, to understand the first hack, you first have to be aware of the big problem almost all guitarists have that shoves a big old brick under the gas pedal of their progress. And to explain that to you, we're gonna have to get outside and play some basketball. Something I'm absolutely horrible at, as you will soon see. I should probably just stick to guitar. Imagine a game of basketball where you're shooting free throws, but you have to wear a blindfold while you do it. That makes it impossible to see where your ball is landing after each shot, or to make your shooting more accurate. You just have to keep throwing the ball rep after rep until you get bored, and then you come back the next day hoping that after you do enough reps over time, you'll accumulate some points. Well, believe it or not, when I watch guitarists practice, whether it's new students of mine or guitarists I train at the Guitar Technique live events I teach at, their practicing often looks like they're shooting free throws blindfolded. Here's what I mean. When you play an exercise once, you might be vaguely aware that you didn't quite play it cleanly enough, just like you can sense the ball not going into the net by not hearing that swoosh sound. But unless you can tell exactly how far off you are from how the notes should sound, all you can do is just keep trying again and again, hoping that the sheer volume of repetitions will make you better. And before you know it, 2 years have gone by, but your playing has improved about as much as Arnold Schwarzenegger's German accent.
Look who's talking.
Says the guy with a Russian accent. Which leads me to the first brilliant progress hack that lets you take the mental blindfold off and give yourself a good chance to hit your target and become a better guitarist a whole lot faster. And to do that while you practice guitar, you simply stop after each repetition, and after you stop, you ask yourself a very simple question. All right, how did this sound and how can I make it better? All right, so maybe that was kind of like 2 questions, but who's counting? And when you ask that question, your brain has to engage and start asking a few more clarifying questions like, could you even hear all the notes? Is there something very obviously wrong in how your body is feeling or how your hands were moving? And finally, how might you fix whatever you noticed was wrong? Then after answering those questions, you play the next repetition of the lick with intention of making your playing better. Taking that pause between repetitions to observe how your technique feels and how the notes are sounding gives you the best chance possible to spot whatever is wrong before you repeat the lick again and possibly make the mistake again. And right about now you might be wondering,
but Mike, what if I can't tell what's going wrong when I stop between repetitions?
What if I notice so many things? How do I even know which ones to focus on?
Well, people, fear not, because this is where the second hack comes in. And using it will not only answer those questions, but it'll also make it very obvious when you're practicing too fast and should slow down, or when you're ready to kick things up a notch and push your speed. And to explain this hack, I'd like to introduce you to a bunch of Russian toys. Well, actually, we're not going to be using this one. Let's get this out of here. But these nesting dolls, or matryoshki as they're called in Russian, are a perfect illustration of your guitar practice. These big ones are the repetitions of an exercise you're trying to get better at. And the little ones that go inside the big ones, as you can see, they open up so the smaller ones can fit in there, are the guitar playing elements you're trying to refine in your playing with each repetition. So when you stop between repetitions of an exercise and you can't tell which of these guitar playing elements are giving you problems, you simply pick any 3 guitar playing elements you want to focus on, and then you only... tell you what, why don't we just take a little journey together inside my mind and I'll just show you. Come along. You're now inside my brain, seeing things exactly the way I see them. And, oh, wait a minute, that means you can't see right now, can you? Gotta put these on. There we go. As I was saying, I'm about to play a scale sequence here, but before I do, I need to choose 3 guitar playing elements to focus on for my first repetition. And I'm choosing pick attack, string noise control, and timing. I'm gonna pretend for a moment that the other guitar playing elements don't even exist. I'm gonna show you what to do about them in a second. So here I go. I'm playing my first repetition and doing my best to focus on the 3 elements I select. And now I'm going to pause and I'm gonna ask myself, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being baseball card and bicycle spokes level of accuracy, just Just how precise was my pick attack? How good of a job did I do muting string noise from both the lower strings and the higher strings? And finally, how tight was my timing? Then, after my pause, I'm gonna play the scale sequence one more time and focus on the same 3 elements to try to make them better based on what I noticed in the first repetition. And I'm gonna keep going like that until each of the 3 elements I'm focusing on is a 10. Now, of course, if your answer to the on a scale of 1 to 10, how was it question is, I don't know that shit, then guess what? You are going too fast. Slow the down. Now, when you're at a 10 with the elements you're trying to focus on at your goal tempo and you're happy with how the lick sounds, you can just move on and practice something else. Or if you feel like you need to refine some other elements of the lick, just load up your matryoshka with those and practice exactly the way I showed you until each of those new elements is a 10 all the way up to your goal tempo. This idea is completely versatile. You can load up new guitar playing elements inside your matryoshka anytime you want to fit any goal. And of course, I'm not saying to always pick 3 elements. Number 3 is just the example. You just don't want your matryoshka repetitions to be empty, which means you're not focusing on anything at all, and you also don't want the pauses between repetitions to be filled with all kinds of distractions. But as useful as these hacks are, you're gonna have a very hard time applying them and fixing the mistakes you spot between the repetitions if you're making the same 4 very specific mistakes 90% of guitarists make that make it nearly impossible to improve even if you practice for hours every day. And I show you what these mistakes are and how to deal with each one in this video right here. Watch it next.